Hi, I'm Cindy Bruflat with the Lakes Area League of Women Voters, featuring another snack-sized Civics. And with me today is Mary Rotter with the DL School Board. Mary, tell us a little bit about yourself and about the school board and some of the information that you would like to share with our audience.
Sure. Yes, I'm Mary Rotter. I am a graduate of Detroit Lakes High School and then moved away, college, taught for a little while, and then moved back about 15 years ago. And I've always been involved in education. I'm a teacher by trade as well. And so I think it was right before the 2022 school board elections when I was inquiring about something, and my husband Eric just said, "Well, when are you going to run anyways?" And I said, "What?" And so I called Amy Erickson. I was like, "What does it take to be on school board?" And she goes, "Well, you're gonna have to decide in like 2 days because the filing is
right
due." And so I made a quick decision, and not really knowing what would happen. And then I've been on since 2022. But I really went on because I care about education, I care about our community, and I wanted to learn more about the ins and outs of how a school district works.
Great. What are some of the responsibilities of a school board member?
I mean, the big thing is being visible, listening to everybody, getting people to the right individuals, because we don't have all the answers, but hopefully we can find you the right person to talk to and kind of follow that line of communication. So if it's something that you need to talk to a building principal or a program leader, or maybe it's
chain of command type of a thing like that.
And then we're on a lot of committees that meet monthly, most of them, sometimes quarterly. And then that's been one of the most beneficial to me, because as a parent, you really only know what your kids are doing. But then as a school board member, you get to learn a lot of other pieces about our district that are interesting and awesome, and how they benefit all the kids.
Wonderful. So what happens at a school board meeting?
Yeah, so a school board meeting, we're lucky, they're pretty boring because we do so much work prior to it all month long. And, all the committees talk, and then we all get all of our information, and so we can be prepared and have a smooth meeting of business. And so we just kind of approve all the other things, and have to, we really have a big trust that all of our educated and dedicated administration people know everything. I mean, they work months and months and months on things, and it's not just a last minute decision.
Right.
They really care a lot about how our school district is run. So
if I, as a parent or a citizen of the community, have a question or a concern about something that's happening at the school, and I show up at a school board meeting, what happens?
You get to listen.
Oh.
Yeah. But if you do have a concern, again, that's a chain of command. You can look on dlschools.net and look at all the school board members' emails or phone numbers and call us, and we'll get you to the right person. Or you can look on any of the Detroit Lakes websites, I suppose, the school district. But eventually, if you end up talking to Mark Jensen, our superintendent, then you might plan to speak at a school board meeting, but it's really probably your solution is going to be figured out prior to that.
Prior to that, without even going to the meeting?
Yeah.
But everybody's welcome to attend.
Everybody. We want people to come, because we want people to see all the good things that are happening and everything that we're approving and moving forward.
Talk about budgets and teacher salaries and benefit packages and all those. Aren't you responsible for all that good stuff?
We are, but to be honest, it's just like a checkbook. So, the big chunk of money comes from our state, and so that's the money that we get. And then every child is worth an X amount of money, which is kind of weird to say, but they are. And so enrollment plays a huge part in what we have. And a little bit comes from federal, but not very much. And so that's what we have to work with. Okay. And so we are really lucky that we are one of only 20 school districts in the whole state of Minnesota that are fiscally responsible enough that we do not have an operating levy.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Regarding that curriculum situation too, what kind of controls do you have over what the teachers are teaching at the schools?
Yeah, the state MDE decides all of what standards are going to be needed to be implemented, and the district itself chooses the curriculum that can follow that, but not the standards. Those are two different things.
Okay.
So standards are, the baseline of what kids are learning, like if you're going to learn all your letters in kindergarten or whatever. But the curriculum and the program that we use to teach those standards, that's controlled at our level. But, we have a budget, and Renee Kurzman makes sure she has a very large group of people that go through these possible curriculum items and choose it to make sure that we have the best one for the kids that we serve here.
Following up on that just a little bit, we hear a talk about test scores and how they're measuring locally compared to others in their state. How does one play into the other?
Well, it's like any other kind of data that you really have to do some digging to get the right answers. Okay. So that would be a whole nother topic. But really it's kind of like you can't judge a book by its cover too, because there's so many missing pieces of data, whether kids take a test or don't take a test, whether this or that, the other thing. So it is what it is. And where you're really going to find out is talking to teachers at that classroom level and seeing what those kids are learning. That's where you're really going to know the true information.
Is there still a fallout or recovery period post-COVID?
I can't really answer that question. I'm not in the classroom.
Sure.
But I do know that for some kids that were in elementary when COVID started, some of like math, like the foundational skills. Right. So some teachers are helping those kids catch up on that plus their regular content.
Sure.
But I guess that would be a classroom teacher or a Renee Kurzman question.
I appreciate that. What about even the online student versus even a homeschool student? How does that impact our local school district?
E-Laker is our online program, so they are considered our students. So we have funding from that student from the state. If you are homeschooled, we don't. That's on the parent. Okay. So it's E-Laker is another form of learning, and the curriculum is our teachers.
Perfect. Mm-hmm. If someone was interested in running for school board, could you share what responsibilities, time commitments, qualifications one should have if they were considering to do that?
Yeah. So I guess in a typical month, you have your school board meeting, and you probably have 2 to 4 other hour-long committee meetings, roughly. So 5-ish hours, but then you have to do some legwork on it. And then we have 4-year terms, unless you're finishing somebody else's.
Gotcha.
And so my first term started in 2022. So then in 2026, my term would be up unless, and I would have to rerun.
Okay. Any specific qualifications that somebody should have?
I think the biggest thing is you have to have an open mind and knowing that, you're always learning more about our finances. That's the biggest thing. We are supposed to be fiscally operating our school district. Mm-hmm. We're not micromanagers of classroom teachers. We are not doing the principal's job. We are not doing the superintendent's job. He's our one employee, right? Okay. And so, but we are to set policy, procedure, and make sure we have solid finances so that we can run smoothly. So be open-minded and ready to learn and ask a lot of questions and yeah, I think that's...
And be available.
And be available, yeah.
Perfect.
You do have to be dedicated. You can't be missing school board meetings.
Perfect. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Anything else I'm forgetting to ask you that comes to mind that you would like to share about your role or responsibilities on the school board?
I think the best thing is to go straight to the people, whatever you want to find out. That's always the best tactic. If you're hearing something that you're interested in, and you're like, is that real? Is that not real? Just go straight to the source, because we're not going to find out about it on social media. It's not going to be correct.
I hear you.
And don't go roundabout, right? Go straight to the person. Yeah, I think that's better. And just be involved in anything that you can.
Appreciate that, Mary. Thanks so much for joining us today. And thank you for joining us. And a shout out to West Central Initiative and the VFW for their sponsorship.